A major legal showdown is underway in Washington. Trump has been using tariffs as a weapon to get what he wants from the world, be it in investments, political agendas, or anything. But his tariffs are now facing legal heat in the US itself. Donald Trump's sweeping reciprocal tariffs are now headed to the US Supreme Court after a federal appeals court ruled that President had overstepped his authority. And on August 29, judges struck down much of Trump's trade policy, saying that the International Emergencies Economic Power Act, or IEEPA, does not give presidents the power to impose broad tariffs on America's trading partners. In other words, the Congress never authorized what Trump has been doing, and Trump immediately took to Truth Social, blasting what he called radical left group of judges. He warned that without tariffs, quote, the America would be completely destroyed and its military power instantly will be obliterated. For Trump, this fight is not just economic, it is political and central to his agenda. The case is now fast-tracked to the Supreme Court with oral arguments set for November. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that the stakes could not be higher. If the court rules against Trump's tariffs, the Treasury would be forced to refund nearly half of all tariff collections. A staggering sum, potentially could be more than $100 to $210 billion. Bessent warns that this would be terrible for the Treasury and could cripple America's negotiating power abroad. Already, US businesses have paid over $210 billion in tariffs till August 24th. If refunds are ordered, companies may get their money back, but the government would lose revenue and future trade leverage could collapse. And that's not all. Trump has warned that US may have to unwind or even reverse trade agreements with the European Union, Japan, and South Korea if the court strikes down his tariffs, because those deals were built on assumption that America's tariff authority would hold. Now, Trump claims that EU deal alone could be worth nearly $1 trillion. Trade analysts say that the fallout would be massive, not just losing revenue but lost trust also. Now, without tariff power, the US could be weaker on global stage. The Treasury could face higher borrowing needs, adding pressure on deficit, inflation, and the domestic economy. So the choice before the Supreme Court is stuck: uphold Trump's tariffs and cement broad presidential power over trade, or strike down and the US would face refunds and economic upheaval, unraveling the key trade deals. Now, this battle isn't just about tariffs, it's about executive power, America's fiscal future, and countries' place in global trade. The court's decision, expected later this year, could redefine US's economic policy for decades to come.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.